What's up, everyone? Welcome to your weekly tech update, the show that explores the newest, coolest, and sometimes mind boggling side of tech available on the interwebs. I am your tech consultant, Ray McNeil. Coming up on the program today, your next smartphone will be a lot harder to scratch. Sports leagues are opting for virtual fans in the stands. And we'll wrap up the program with this week's Moment of Joy. All that and a whole lot more coming up on today's edition of your weekly tech update. Next. It takes about 2 years for Corning to develop each new generation of its Gorilla Glass, the resilient material that graces a critical mass of smartphones these days. That process has for several update cycles focused on protecting screens against drops, fending off shatters and cracks by boosting what's known as comprehensive strength. Now, the newly announced Gorilla Glass Victus gives equal weight to preventing scratches as well. That's harder than it sounds and more useful than you would think as well. It's not that Gorilla Glass has dismissed scratches entirely, but the last time that Corning prioritized it as a threat was in Gorilla Glass 3, which came out all of 7 years ago. Since then, smartphones have gotten much better about bouncing back from sidewalk run-ins, but handle inadvertent key dig about the same as they did when the iPhone 5S came out. Enter Victus, which promises double the scratch resistance of 2018's Gorilla Glass 6. It performs better in a drop test as well, surviving a 2-meter fall compared to its predecessor's 1.6-meter durability. People are keeping their phones longer, says John Bain, who leads Corning's Gorilla Glass business. Phones that aren't breaking in a drop event are coming up with a scratch on it. And it's true, Apple disclosed last year that iPhone customers are upgrading less frequently. If you're holding on to your phone for 3 years, that's more time to pick up nicks and dings along the way, especially if the display survives a fall that a few years ago would have required a full screen replacement. There's also the fact that making glass that's both scratch and drop resistant is, well, hard. The manufacture of glass is often a game of compromise, which you can see most clearly in the quest for durable, foldable phones. The stronger it is, the less it can bend. In this case, getting those two properties to play nice is less a direct contradiction than it is a process of reinvention. Glass starts with silicon dioxide, but from there it's open season on the periodic table of elements. It's still working on microductile scratches you only see when they catch the light. But it turns out that whatever the trade-offs it took to get even this far, holding up better against scratches will actually make your display less likely to shatter in the long run. Victus isn't on the market just yet, but Corning has historically provided glass for most major flagship phones. And despite the expected COVID-19 supply chain disruptions, Bain says the company is ready to meet the demand, which means that the next time you trade in your smartphone, which these days may be a couple of years down the road, the new one you get is going to hold up a whole lot better against sharp things in your pocket. Tesla back in the news, and it says it has discovered a disturbing pattern of former employees who took confidential information and trade secrets on their way to new jobs at EV startup Rivian. That's according to a new lawsuit first reported by Bloomberg. Tesla even claims Rivian is knowingly encouraging this behavior, and it is seeking unspecified punitive damages for what it alleges is despicable, oppressive, willful, malicious malicious conduct. Rivian calls the allegations baseless. Rivian is perhaps the richest EV startup in the world, having raised more than $5 billion in the last year and a half. It's slated to start delivering a premium electric pickup truck in early 2021, ahead of when Tesla's Cybertruck is supposed to hit the road. The company will also start selling an electric SUV at the same time. Rivian has hired some 2,400 employees ahead of this launch from top flight companies across the automotive and tech industries. That includes 178 former Tesla workers, according to the lawsuit, with 70 making the jump directly. The lawsuit, filed late last week, names 4 former Tesla employees and Rivian as defendants, though Tesla says it has identified additional people who may have stolen and brought confidential company information to the EV startup. Tesla says that one day after Pascal signed Rivian's offer letter, she took at least 10 confidential and proprietary documents from Tesla's network. That included a candidate list, information about where the automaker finds potential hirings, and a detailed internal write-up of an executive-level candidate. Tesla's complaint is light on details about Rivian's knowledge or encouragement of any wrongdoing, save for the case of Kim Wong. He was a staff recruiter at Tesla up until just a few weeks ago. Tesla claims Wong was contacted by a Rivian hiring manager who told her Rivian did not have the recruiting template structures, formulas, or documents that would be needed to grow the startup's recruiting efforts. That's according to the complaint. The same day as that conversation, Tesla says Wong sent at least 16 highly confidential recruiting documents from Tesla's network to her Gmail account. That included confidential PowerPoint presentations that contained details about the automaker's recruiting and hiring process, as well as salary information. Tesla's lawsuit is just the latest in what has become a constant stream of trade secret fights among Silicon Valley transportation companies. Most notable was Waymo's lawsuit against Uber, wherein it accused Anthony Levandowski of stealing troves of data about self-driving cars and conspiring with then CEO Travis Kalanick to shepherd that data to Uber. The suit was ultimately settled. This is not Tesla's first trade secret suit either. It recently settled a lawsuit against self-driving startup Zoox, which resulted in Zoox admitting that multiple employees it hired from Tesla arrived with stolen documents.